Chairs Engelbright, Pellegrino, Diorso, members of the Assembly here, on behalf of environmental advocates of New York, I thank you for holding this hearing today. My name is Peter Iwanowitz. I'm the Executive Director of Environmental Advocates. And I thank you for taking input today from New Yorkers regarding the Trump administration's proposal to open up offshore areas for natural gas and oil drilling. I cannot overstate the level of opposition to this proposal that my organization has. We urge all New York officials to join together to oppose natural gas and oil drilling off our coasts. Listen, I think we all know from the testimony today already, but our oceans are hurting. They're stressed by the near constant discharge from things like old septic systems, old sewage infrastructure, stormwater runoff from our communities, and agricultural chemicals and waste. The burning of fossil fuels will add an insult from the air of nitrogen loading in our waters, of acid deposition, and let us not forget toxic mercury deposition in our waters. The unnecessary use and careless disposal of plastics like plastic bags is a nightmarish-sized problem that this and future generations will have to grapple with. Rather than add another threat to our oceans, let's begin to allow them to heal. Rather than putting our waters, our fisheries, and our shorelines at risk, let's move forward with sensibly sited offshore wind to harness renewable energy off of our coasts. But let us not just rise in opposition to this proposal, let us also commit today to a vision of a brighter, more prosperous future. As an environmental leader, as an advocate and a New Yorker, and as what I think my most important role in life is as a father, I am really truly hopeful that we can do better than combusting dirty fuels to power our homes, our buildings, and our vehicles. I personally see a pathway where innovation and the entrepreneurial spirit New Yorkers are known for will win the day over further extraction of fossil fuels. So Environmental Advocates calls on New York leaders to move the state rapidly past dirty and dangerous fossil fuels and towards an entire state economy powered by 100% clean, renewable energy. Such a goal is not only necessary if we are to address the impact of climate change and the health effects of air pollution, but it is the express goal that New York State has today. We have already adopted this goal we have already adopted this policy as a goal via executive order. And as you heard this morning from Assistant Commissioner Schneider, it is adopted in the 2015 Energy Plan. We combust far too much oil as it is today. The transportation sector is our largest sector of greenhouse gas emissions. We collectively spend, and I hope you're not surprised by this, but we collectively spend in New York State $30 billion every year to move people and goods between point A and point B. That's $30 billion of revenue that largely flows out of state to other interests. Imagine, if you will, with me, if we retained $30 billion of economic worth for our state. It's dirty, it's wasteful. Internal combustion engines are highly inefficient. We can do better. We can demonstrate to the nation how we can all do better. So as we rise today to fight this ill-conceived drilling scheme, and let us know we're several hours into this hearing, we have yet to hear one voice in support of this crazy scheme. Let us also achieve bold action this legislative session when we return back to that august city, our state capital, Albany. Together, let's do this. First, let's enact Chairman Engelbright's Climate and Community Protection Act. I want to applaud, and I hope the room joins me in applauding every single one of you that is up there today. Every single member there today, including Chair Pellegrino, who's left, voted for that bill when it was on the floor last in April. You did, and thank you. Every single one, and that's really important legislation. Let's do it in the state budget before that budget comes across the finish line in April. We can get there. Let's also look hard at the proposal by the executive and reject it that defers tax credits that have and will continue to spur investment in the use of clean technology like green buildings, electric vehicle chargers, and solar energy. While the administration testified earlier that they are committed to this thing, they've also proposed deferrals of tax credit policy that advance those technologies. Let's fix that before the budget's done. Let's also commit to fixing New York City's subways and ensure funding to support build-out of mass transit across Long Island and all across New York State. Let's decongest New York City's streets and the clogged roadways of Long Island. In all of our communities where too many tailpipes contribute to the pollution that makes people sick. And last but not least, let's establish a goal like what exists for our electricity generating sector to rapidly move off the transportation sector that is primarily powered by petroleum towards one that is powered entirely by electric drive vehicles. And last but not least, the new legislation that was introduced, Assembly Print 9819. And while we're still reviewing the new bill that was introduced yesterday that focuses in on prohibiting the state from adopting leases for offshore lands, why not extend that to all lands? If it is the policy of New York State and the Cuomo administration to move the economy of the state entirely off of fossil fuels, if the governor has committed to pushing that the New York State Pension Fund divest of fossil fuels, why not commit today to extend that new piece of legislation to prohibit leasing of oil and gas on all state lands as we move forward? So we'll comment further on the bill as we review it more deeply, but that's our initial take on it. So let me just say this. Thank you for all that you do to make New York a better place in which to live, work, and play. And finally, thank you for considering all of the ideas that we just shared with you from environmental advocates that we put forth that will ensure that New York once again can claim the title of National Environmental Leader. We're not there now. We need to be there back again. Our nation is calling on us.
Thank you.